Is Sega and Paramount working together to change the Sonic movie design? Let's discuss right now.
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag.
Hello there beautiful people, my name is RidersDX and welcome to my channel where today we're going to talk a little bit more about my favorite movie of all time, the Sonic the Hedgehog 2019 movie. You know, I don't have to watch the movie to know it's gonna be amazing. I just know it's gonna be amazing, so yeah. But anyway, I'm making this video today because we have a relatively small thing, you know. This is actually not something that I feel like kind of warrants a whole video, but I also think that this tweet, yes, it is a tweet, and I think this tweet really stirs up a very interesting discussion that I think we could have about the movie, and that's if whether or not we're actually gonna see a change in the Sonic movie design. So before we kind of dive into that discussion, let's go ahead and take a look at the tweet. And before we actually look at that tweet, I know I'm annoying the hell out of you right now, but this will be like 20 seconds. Let's take a look at today's fan art. So this comes from Clint Rovert, and this is a very, very funny picture of Metal Knuckles. I mean, I actually don't see the beak, so this actually kind of seems more like Metal Knuckles to me, but it's still really cool, so I wanted to share it. But yes, it looks like a meme. This is totally a meme. So if anyone wants to come up with like a great meme for this picture, then let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to make the meme too, then go ahead and paste it too. It'd just be really awesome. But yeah, I'll leave a link to this person's video in the description box below. Thanks so much for making this. But yes, let's take a look at the tweet that the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter tweeted out. It looks like yesterday, so I'm a day late with this, unfortunately. So, met with the director and producers for the Sonic movie, shared a lot of fan feedback, and they appreciated hearing it all. Thanks Tim Miller and Jeff Fowler for your time. So yes, if you look at this picture now, we have a picture of Iizuka and Aaron Weber along with the producers of the movie, Tim Miller and Jeff Fowler. They look very happy. They look like, oh, all is well, even though, you know, this community is just chaos. So it's very interesting because, you know, so this is a PR move, clearly. Like, Aaron Weber is the PR guy. Everything he does on the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter is for a reason. So the fact that we got this tweet before the review of the official Sonic movie design is very interesting because this is the first time the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter has actually commented on the Sonic movie. You know, beyond saying that it was gonna be coming out, you know, back in December, they made a tweet saying that like IGN was gonna show off the first look at the Sonic movie design. This is the first time that Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter has even acknowledged the movie since then, and that's very, very interesting to me. And this is a picture that kind of shows like there's a unity between the movie producers and the Sonic the Hedgehog team, and this is really good to see, you know, because whenever you adapt like a video game franchise to like the big screen or like to the TV show, the most ideal environment and situation and scenario that you want is to have both teams collaborating very closely, having each other's opinions and words heard very, very clearly and very cared for. And this is just a good sign that they are trying their best to work together and to hear each other out and really consider like everyone's feedback on what has happened so far. So that's really good news to hear that they're at least having these discussions. I mean, I'm very sure that they've been having these discussions ever since the teaser trailer came out. Like, they'd be idiots to not like talk about it. Like, the reaction to this movie has been ginormous, and just, you know, it's definitely the most relevant Sonic's been in a while. So maybe not for the best reason, unfortunately, but it's the most relevant Sonic has been in a long time. And so they really have to make sure that the exposure that Sonic is getting from this movie is gonna benefit the franchise in the long run, because, you know, Sega, they want to keep Sonic alive. Like, they don't want Sonic to be run into the ground. They don't want Sonic to die, you know. They don't want Sonic to go on like a hiatus like Crash and Spyro did. They really want Sonic to thrive, and the fact that they're having these discussions is very interesting because it at least lets us know that Sega really does care about this movie and they really want this movie to do well for the Sonic franchise. And I'm glad to see that the producers of the movie are here as well, you know, willingly posing with them and really just confirming that they are having these discussions, because it tells me that the movie producers care about the feedback too, and that's really good to hear. You know, you never want like a company that's totally in its own head and only wants to do whatever they want to do. It's really nice to show that they're at least putting off the image and the sense that they are listening to fans' feedback, because that's always very important. It's really good to take into account what people are saying and going from there. Now, in terms of what this actually means for the movie, let's theorize. So everything about what I'm about to say is totally theorized. It's not factual at all. It's just pure speculation, but you know what? That's my favorite thing to do, is to speculate. So let's go ahead and go on with it. Now, the movie's coming out in November, right? So that's actually not a lot of time to make any significant changes in the movie. However, I think there is a possibility of this movie getting delayed, because I think they are taking this criticism very seriously. You know, the fact that they're making this move, the fact that the movie producers have clearly come over to Sega's offices to talk about this, it is showing me that there is a sign of, hey, we actually care about this. We want to see what we can do from here on out. We want to see if there's anything we can do to try to like shift the narrative of this movie. Now, like I said before, in terms of the actual movie design, I don't really have a big problem with it so far. I think it's a little bit too soon to judge. We haven't actually seen like the whole movie design yet, so I'm not really saying whether or not I actually like or dislike the design. I'm just kind of waiting for that first trailer to officially come out. But the fact that the first trailer hasn't come out and the movie comes out in November, this might be the reason why the trailer hasn't come out yet, because there's discussing what their next move is. What should they do? Do they want to delay the movie and rework the design, or do they just want to make like small adjustments and release the movie as is and just hope that people don't hate it? And that's really interesting, because you have to take into account like how much do they really care about the reception of this movie. Like, does Paramount really want this movie to do well in that respect, or do they just want to make the most viral campaign possible and get as many people as possible to watch this movie, whether or not it be for good reasons? That's something that I can't answer. It's something that someone in Paramount would be able to answer. However, so it's really tough for me to say. I do think though that Sega does really care about this movie, and they want this movie to do really well, and they want this to reflect very well on the Sonic franchise. So it is very clear to me that Sega is at least trying to work something out with Paramount to, I don't know, maybe change as little or as much of the movie as they think is reasonable and best for the franchise. So I think Sega is really trying to work behind the scenes to see what we can do from here on out. But in terms of Paramount like really caring that much about it, I'm not entirely sure. We'll really have to see in the future what Paramount does, because ultimately the ball's in their court. They're the ones that really have like the final say of what this movie is gonna do next. So I honestly think that financially, I don't really see why Paramount would go out of their way to completely change the design. I think like movies are very expensive, and there's obviously been a lot of work that's already been put into this movie and already put into Sonic's design. So it's very hard for me to imagine Paramount wanting to change the design that drastically. I mean, maybe they'll make a few adjustments to it, but in terms of a drastic like remodel and all that, I don't think that's very realistic. I don't think Paramount is gonna go that far. It just doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint for them. I mean, I'm sure Sega would really want that to happen, but I don't think it makes sense for Paramount themselves in their own benefits to do that. However, there's also the idea of maybe this whole thing was actually a publicity stunt, which I had talked about in one of my previous videos, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box right now if you wanted to hear like what my thoughts on that was. But you know, judging from this tweet though, I really don't think it was a publicity stunt. I think they genuinely thought that this design was gonna work, and now they're kind of scrambling thinking, okay, what's the next move? Do we want to go back and rework the whole thing, or do we just want to like put it out in the wild and hope that the movie will still make tons of money based on like the viral nature of it? That's something that we're gonna have to consider. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Do you think this means that they're gonna try to go in and change the design and really try to rework the movie, which could possibly result in a delay? Or do you think they're just going on to kind of talk about, okay, this is the design, there's no way we're changing it, how are we going to proceed from here on out to improve the reception of this movie at least, or to at least make as big of a profit as possible from it? There's a lot of variables in this. It's really hard to think of what their priorities lay, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it, because it's very interesting. And I don't know too much about the production of movies, so if anyone in the comment section knows a little bit more about how movies actually work in terms of production, it'd be really great to hear that insight as well. So please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these and want to see more in the future, follow me on Twitter at RidersDX, or join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. And yep, this is Riders, riding out.